don't actually know what Trump is doing with his messaging, because last night I watched the Bret Baier, the top of his show, and he ran a long report on Epstein and the scandal and the MAGA infighting. And he ran a soundbite of Trump last night, which we have, where he's saying I think we have it. Yeah. I think it's in SOT 1, where he says he's fine with having Pam Bondi release more materials that she deems releasable. Here it is in SOT 1.
Your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with her, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job. And I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also. But I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important. And you want credible evidence for something like that. And I think the Attorney General's handled it very well.
Okay, that wasn't on there, but he does say the credible part, and here's that. This is later that day, SOT 6.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think, well, really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Okay. So yesterday, that was late Tuesday. Let him have it. If there's more credible information, she can release it. Now, he was full of insults for the people who are still interested in Epstein. Right. But then this morning, he sends out a Truth Social that was just a barn burner of a post that reads in part, okay, hold on, let me get it here. It's long. I'm not going to read the whole thing. First, it starts off with how the radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, blah, blah, blah. A totally fake and make-up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. Okay, and then they say, he says, their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. The Democrats' new scam. I mean, this is more of a Republican issue. The Democrats are now piling on, but he says this is a Democrat news scam in what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past, in all caps, supporters have bought into this bullshit, quoting here, hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history, and all these people want to talk about, with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems, is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. And so what we've seen sort of in the past couple of days is Trump has managed to call large portions of the MAGA base that are still interested in Epstein and want answers selfish, weaklings. He doesn't want their support, and that they're believing in a Democrat-created hoax. Now, there's all sorts of, substantive responses to that on the Epstein merits, but I'm not interested in that for now. I'm interested in the politics of it, Rich.
Yeah. And so he's in the phase he often is in when he's in the midst of these controversies. I think spaghetti against the wall phase, and then he'll see what sticks and then go with that. But I don't think it's a great idea to make the connection to the Russia hoax, which was about him. So this kind of implies that this also is about him. Right? I don't think it really is. And the idea that he doesn't know where this is coming from, and it was all created by Democrats. This has been more of a matter of interest for the right, including the highest officials in his Justice Department, right? Pam Bondi talked about it. Kash Patel talked about it. Bongino talked about it. Now, Patel and Bongino, I give them a little leeway because, Bongino was a podcaster and Patel's kind of a figure. They didn't talk about it the same way once they were in office. It's Pam Bondi,
right,
who is a sitting Attorney General of the United States, handed out these ridiculous, bogus binders in a stupid act of pandering. These poor influencers, they held them up like they had, finally had the holy tablets. Of course, when they look through it, they realize it's all old or redacted and completely worthless, and then seem to suggest, she's wiggled out, tries to wiggle out of it, but seem to suggest she had a client list on her desk. And then she, everyone wants it to go away when she turns around a month or two later and says, oh, forget it, So I understand the questions about this, but and as you've put it, she either was lying then, right, when she said that had the client list, or is lying now when she says there's no client list. I take the first option. I think it was a stupid act of pandering and she got wrapped around the axle on this thing, and she should tomorrow she should do a press conference, and it should be till the last dog die kind of press conference. Everyone can come in. We're credentialing everyone. I don't care who you are or what outlet you're from, and I'll answer every single question about it. And that this is why the conclusion that we've come to. And if there are other things that can be released, as you know, and as I've discussed on the show, the Epstein files makes it sound as if it's like a file cabinet in the corner of her office, and she has one of those little file cabinet keys, and she can open it and take out the 10 manila folders with the Epstein files. Whereas it's a vast investigative record, and surely more can be released than has been released. Surely there's some things, grand jury secrecy and the rest that should stay, shouldn't be disclosed. But surely there's more to disclose. You know more about it than I do, since I'm a National Review type. But we haven't seen the autopsy, right? Have we seen the actual report on why they've concluded
I don't think so.
suicide?
We've heard from the medical examiner for sure. I'm very well aware of what she found and why she found it, but I don't know that we have the actual paper. Could be, and I just haven't seen it.
Why not?
Here's
right?
the problem,
if we
though,
don't.
Rich. Here's the problem. Like it is. There's a middle ground here that I keep trying to remind people of. I don't believe that there's a massive pedophile ring that's being covered up, though. Stranger things have happened. I don't believe Trump did anything terrible that's in there that he's trying to hide, though it is possible that somebody made some scurrilous allegations against him, because that's happened on the record, outside of the Epstein case. So would I be shocked to see somebody did it? No, I wouldn't. I believe, though, that there might be some names in there who are politically connected to Team Blue and Team Red, and neither side has a great interest in sort of hanging those people out to dry. And those people would be the kind of people making calls, being like, would really appreciate it if you didn't do this, and maybe the donors are important enough that they're listening. That's a possibility. I'm just throwing that out there. But I think the way this needs to be handled, like any scandal, any potential scandal, is you get out early, you get out loudly, you open up all the coffers and say, come on in, take a look. This is everything we know. This is everything we're going to give you, because now we're in a situation where even if Pam Bondi, I have to be fair to the administration, even if she does come on, I've asked her for an interview to come on this show, or gives a presser, or Kash and Dan join her, even if that happens, people who are really dug in on this are probably always at this point going to say, I don't believe it. Once you're dug in on something, it's almost unwinnable for Trump at this point.
Yeah, someone's reminded me of the old joke a little while ago. Guy dies, goes to heavens at the pearly gates. God said, ask me any questions. Happy to answer anything now. And he's like, what happened with the Kennedy assassination? And God says, Lee Harvey Oswald did it. The guy said, I didn't know. I didn't know it went this high up. The conspiracy is this far reaching. So there are some people that's where they are on this, and there's going to be no way to satisfy them. Plus, look, it's how did he get his money? I don't think we'll ever know. Right. And we're denied the sense of closure by his death in jail. I think he committed suicide, but they should try to be as disclosive as they reasonably can, without breaking any rules and disclosing things that our system says should be secret. and upfront about it. And I think part of the problem here, frankly,
but what happens?
I
What
think
happens now,
yeah.
Rich? Yeah, you go ahead. Finish your point.
I was going to say, I think Bondi is his weakest major cabinet pick. I understand why he wants her there. She's confirmed, right? It's hard to get someone confirmed. I'm sure he likes her, and he'll do whatever he wants, basically. So, so all good as far as he's concerned. But I don't think this hypothetical press conference I just meant, I don't think she can do it. I don't think she'd pull it off very well. I think there'd be more questions left on, more questions afterwards than you were when you began. She's handled this totally incompetently, because I'm not sure she's that competent. So look, I think they're going to release more. I think they have to. I think transparency is like the go-to for everyone here in this kind of situation. Mike Johnson was saying release everything with Benny Johnson the other day. So I think they'll release more, but I don't think they're ever going to satisfy a lot of people, because one, I don't think they can be satisfied, and I'm not sure how much of the total record can be released.
Here is Speaker Johnson on Benny's show yesterday. It's at 7.
It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, that were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities. So let's get this thing resolved.
Yeah, just put it in their review. I think that's what many and probably most Republicans would very much like, including yours truly. Just put it in their rear view. Just put it to bed. Who wants to spend the next 3.5 years obsessing over Jeffrey Epstein? Not me. And so what they really need to do now is figure out how to put it to bed. I do think a Pam Bondi, maybe you fold in Todd Blanche. He could probably do it. The two of them together. Yeah. Maybe you bring over a Cash or a Dan. So it's like United Front, and core MAGA has somebody there who they really do trust. I don't know. But what President Trump is doing is trying to, he understands strength, and he understands how to completely overpower people. And he's using those powers to try to stop the conversation. But I think he's also risking some alienation of some key supporters. Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they're moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your own personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. OMG. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by buying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold extremely easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898, and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.